Hi guys, it's Amy. I am suffering from a bout of tonsillitis at the moment, so bear with me. The 11th of September is RUOK Day in Australia, and it's a good day for family and friends to take the opportunity to ask somebody that they might be a little bit concerned about, are you okay? Now, last week I posted a video where I shared with you a moment of my anxiety / depression. Not long after that video, I had a chat with my doctor and we decided that it would be best if I continue with my course of Effexol. Then I came down with the tonsillitis, so I actually haven't had a chance to get back on board with that, but I'm doing okay. My journey with this, you could say, began in December of last year. But in reality, that's not actually where it did begin. That was just where it spectacularly came to the fore in my family and rocked us to the core. My journey with it actually begins right back to my pregnancy with Callum, so 2009. And so the knowledge was that if we were going to increase our family, then I was going to have to take a step back from my career, and Steve was going to then take a greater leap in his career. And so it was just, a basic swap. I wish it was that simple, but in my head it wasn't that simple. My head took a whole lot longer to wrap around the idea that I was no longer a professional working woman with one child. I was a stay-at-home mum, and it took a long time for me to actually process through that. So during my pregnancy with Callum, there were many, 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 many tears. Of course, life often has other plans. And during the first year of Callum's birth, I fell pregnant with twins. And if that wasn't a challenge enough of what I was already coping with and accepting, I then had a new challenge of twins, and how was I going to make it all work? And I've got to be honest, the answer to that when you have twins is you're not going to. When you have twins, one of the very, very first things that you will need to accept is that you're going to have a new normal. The life that you once had pre-twins, you will not have post-twins. And I believe that I went through a grieving process through that. The entire twin pregnancy, I was just trying to work through not only the symptoms that come with a twin pregnancy, the fact that it is a high-risk pregnancy, and the health issues that come with a high-risk pregnancy. Not only am I dealing with that, but I'm also dealing with that life has changed, and that when those twins are born, life will change. And I think for a long, 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 long time, even after the birth of the twins, that was my biggest hurdle, was accepting that life has changed and that there is a new normal. So when the twins were born, I made a really good impression that life was fantastic, that it couldn't have been better. I had 4 children. I had twins. This was an adventure. This was something that was a wonderful challenge, and I just couldn't wait to sink my teeth into it. But I still hadn't accepted that this was a new normal. I still hadn't accepted that things weren't ever going to go back to the way that they were. I hadn't accepted that life had changed. And I moseyed on like this for 6 months with the twins. And just after they were 6 months old, I was diagnosed with postnatal depression. And I chose to battle the postnatal depression out through talking it out. I decided I didn't want to take any medication. I, for the first time ever, was having great success with breastfeeding twins, and I did not want to interfere with that in any way at all. And so I decided that the best way for me to deal with my postnatal depression was just to continue to talk it out with people. And I did that over a period of time. But I never did. I never did get through it. And I can really say that, okay, I had a good reason for not going on to the medication, breastfeeding. They do say that the medication doesn't interfere with breastfeeding at all. And look, I can now say on the other side that taking medication has been the best thing for me ever. People would say to me when I was talking through it, the effects of the medication, how it made such a big difference, and it was really an option that I should look at, and I didn't. And you make those choices, and you can't go back and you can't change them. But in retrospect, I can look back now and I can say, yes, taking the medication really does make a difference in the battle you have with your mind. It's a real 360 turnaround. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit. And you know what? That was one of the biggest fears that I had with taking the medication. I was scared that it would change me as a person. My brain frustrates the life out of me. But this brain is what has made me so passionate about my teaching, about my parenting. It's this brain that constantly comes up with ideas and activities to do with my kids to keep us all going. And I'm so glad that after taking the medication for a while, that it didn't turn that off, that it didn't turn me off. I was worried about that. I was worried that it would change me. But it's actually made me better. It's made me a better mum. It's made me a better person. But it actually took me a month and a half shy of the twins' 3rd birthday to spectacularly lose the plot. And it came in the form of a massive anxiety attack. What I didn't realise, and I soon did come to realise, was that I've been suffering anxiety attacks for quite some time. And my lovely psychologist that I touch base with now every month, she wondered how I even got that far. Apparently I've been running on empty for quite some time. And that's how I felt. In December of last year, I felt I had nothing else. I felt I had nothing more. Endgame. I went and spent a week in the hospital, more for a break, for a nice big sleep, and also to start taking the medication. There was going to be some wonderful side effects with going on the medication, and I didn't want to be putting my children through any more. And I decided that it would be best if I was going to do that I would start doing it in the hospital and get myself sorted and get myself right. I never, ever want to go back to that place. So last week, when I started feeling some of those old feelings again, they scared me. This is my new normal, and it's okay. I accept it. I even love it sometimes. It's always a challenge. It's always a challenge having to battle myself. And then there's the challenge that the kids throw at you at each stage. And when you've got two kids that are going through the exact same stage at the same time, I say challenge. There must be some other word for it. But it's okay. It's okay now. I know now that it is a stage. I know now that if I relax, that if I do my best, that we will get through it. And that the kids will be okay. They have their personalities, and I have very strong personalities in my house. And I got to be honest, I actually wouldn't want it any other way. I love that my kids have strong personalities. I love that they are so open to telling it how it is. It's good to know what page you're on. But it is trying. So that's my journey. The long and the short of it. This is my new normal. And I'm okay.